Next, I wanted to cover this new function WGWP. And this function is going to return wins, games played, and the winning percentage of teams. Now the function is going to take two parameters. It's going to take the team name and then the data frame. The data frame here is going to be in the form of the retro sheet game logs tables, because within this function, that's the assumption that this data frame will be from the retro sheet game logs. And we'll see how that's used below. At the beginning of the function, you reset the value of W to 0 and G to 0. They get set to 0, and within the for loop below, you accumulate the number of wins and the number of games played for the team as part of the function. So that's what the for loop does. Before you get to the for loop, we have to run a subset command. The subset command here we've seen before. Now the subset command takes a data frame and selects certain rows and columns based on a condition. So what this condition is it checks the data frame, and one of the variables in the data frame is home, the home team. It also has a visitor team. We can check that as we come over to the retro sheet file. You can see here visitor is a character string that represents the visiting team. They also have the home team. So if you want to look at a team and its winning percentage over a decade, for example, you're going to want to check all the games played by, say, this team here. So we're going to pass to this function the team. And anytime that team is either home or away, we're going to select a new data frame of just that team, ignoring all the games played by other teams that aren't played by that team. So anytime that team plays, we're going to put it in a new data frame called sub. The subset command takes the large data frame of all teams and then just selects it down to the team that was passed along to the function. So now sub is just one team. And the for command again starts with this variable I. You're going to go through the whole sub data frame here, starting at 1 and then going through all the different rows in the sub data frame. You're going to look at certain variables in this statement here to try to count the number of wins by that team in that decade, because we're going to pass along this data frame here, which is a decade-long data frame. So you're going to start where I is 1 and then go up to the number of rows that that team has in the decade, number of games played by that team in the decade. So the first command here is this one, and it's adding up the wins for the team. Okay, remember W starts out at 0. So we evaluate this expression first. This expression gets evaluated first. W, the first time through, starts at 0. But if this command here, this whole command determines if the team won the game or not. If the team passed along, won the game or not, this expression is going to return a 1. And it's going to get added to the wins previously as it goes through the for loop for each row, and assign that new value to the count of wins for that team. So let's look at this expression. This expression should return 1 if the team won the game and 0 if the team lost the game. So this is the if-else statement, and remember the structure of this if-else statement over here. There's a conditional test, and if that test is true, it's going to evaluate this expression and return it as part of the if-else expression. If the test is false, it's going to return this one. So here's the first if-else. Here, I'm going to select and highlight the first test. Here's the first test. Sub home team sub I is team. This is basically saying if the team passed is the home team, that's what this is. If the team passed is the home team as opposed to being the visitor's team, we're just going to take the result of the home win work we did before. Home win equals 1 means home team won, and a home win equals 0 means the home team lost. So if the team passed along as the home team, we're just going to take the home win result for that game. And that's already stored in the home win variable within the data frame. That's the first. This right here is this clause here. Yes. If this is true, the team is the home team, then we'll just take the home win result. But everything else here is the result of it. This is an if-else expression that is when the team is the visiting team. So this whole expression gets evaluated if the team passed along here is the visiting team. What this clause means is in the if-else statement, the home team won. Remember, home win equals 1 equals 1 is true when the home team won. If the team we want to look at is visiting and the home team won, we're going to return 0. This is the yes clause of the second if-else statement. So we'll return a 0 to this expression as we're adding up wins. What this means is the team was the visiting team here and the home team won. The team is the visiting team here and the home team won, so they're going to add 0 wins to that expression. But if they're the visiting team and the visiting team won, they're going to get a value of 1 in this expression. So look at the logic of this. It works. It counts the number of wins. Also, every time through the for loop, going through from 1 to the number of rows in this data frame of just that team's play, we're going to count the number of games. So through this for loop, we're counting the number of wins that team has, number of games that team played, and we're going to calculate the winning percentage, number of wins divided by the number of games played. So that's the return value. Now, to convince yourself this is going to work, we're going to look up this example here, use the Boston Red Sox, run this command, and what we have here are the results. The winning percentage for the Red Sox in that decade was .568. That was their winning percentage. They played 1,619 games, and they won 920. You can go to your favorite website and convince yourself that this is true, that they won 920 games from the years 2000 to 2009. This function we ran here calculated it by going game by game through the game logs database and counting the number of wins with this statement here. It also counted the number of games. That's the G returned after we ran this function here. And here's the winning percentage, wins divided by games.